True motivation thrives in silence and self-discipline. When you share your progress instead of your goals, you protect your energy, silence your doubts, and let results speak louder than your intentions. Number 1, goals are dreams. Progress is proof. Every person carries within them a vision, a spark, a picture of a better version of themselves. Goals are beautiful because they give direction to our lives. They are the sketches of the future drawn in our imagination. But dreams alone do not change our lives. Progress does. Progress is what transforms the invisible into the visible. It is the bridge between what you desire and what you eventually hold in your hands. A goal is a promise. Progress is the fulfillment of that promise. You can talk about your goals all you want, but only action, quiet, consistent, disciplined action, can make them real. When we speak too soon about our goals, we often trick our minds into believing we've already achieved something. The praise, the attention, the validation we receive becomes a substitute for the true satisfaction that only comes from effort. The brain feels rewarded, and that tiny illusion of success steals the hunger that should have driven us forward. But when you choose to stay silent, when you let your heart carry the weight of your dreams quietly, something powerful happens inside you. You become deeply connected to your purpose. Every step feels sacred, every bit of progress feels earned, and every small improvement becomes proof that you are moving closer to something real. Progress is honest. It doesn't need to be announced. It simply shows itself in your growth, in your character, in your results. When you look back and see how far you've come, how many times you've fallen, learned, and stood again, that's when you realize that your dream is no longer just a thought in your mind. It's something you've built with your own hands, your time, and your endurance. Talking about goals can be exciting, but watching yourself evolve through progress is empowering. It gives you confidence not because others see it, but because you know within yourself that you're becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. Progress turns faith into evidence. It's the living proof that persistence works, that patience has power, and that your silent labor never goes unnoticed. Every bit of progress, no matter how small, whispers to you, "Keep going, you're getting there." That whisper is more powerful than any applause. It's a voice that comes from within, reminding you that real transformation happens not in the noise of declarations, but in the quiet rhythm of daily effort. Number 2, silence builds power. Silence builds power. In a world that constantly pushes us to speak, share, and announce everything we do, silence becomes a rare form of strength. It is not emptiness. It is energy being stored, focus being gathered, wisdom being cultivated. When you stay silent about your plans, you are not being secretive, you are being strategic. Silence gives you space to think clearly, to plan deeply, and to grow without distraction. It allows your mind to connect with your purpose in a way that noise never can. The more you talk about what you will do, the less energy you leave for doing it. But when you choose quiet over attention, you save that power for execution. And that's where real strength is born. Silence also protects your vision from interference. Every time you speak of your dreams too soon, you open them up to doubt, judgment, and misunderstanding. People can only see from their own level of experience, and sometimes their limitations become the shadows cast upon your light. When you remain silent, you shield your ideas while they are still fragile, giving them time to grow roots before they face the world. Silence is not weakness, it's protection. It's a choice to let your progress mature quietly until it's strong enough to stand on its own. The most powerful storms build in silence, and the strongest people rise the same way, not through noise, but through quiet endurance. Silence builds inner peace. When you don't feel the need to explain your every move or prove your worth to anyone, your energy becomes calm, your direction becomes clear. You are no longer chasing validation. You are grounded in purpose. In that stillness, you begin to hear your own thoughts, your intuition, your truth. You start to understand that not every action needs an audience. Not every step needs applause. True fulfillment comes not from being seen, but from knowing that you are doing something meaningful, even if no one notices yet. Silence gives you authority over yourself, your emotions, your focus, your reactions. It teaches patience, and through patience, you gain mastery. And when you finally move, your actions carry weight. People notice the difference between those who speak loudly and those who move quietly. The quiet achiever radiates calm confidence, a kind of unshakable energy that cannot be faked or borrowed. It's built through restraint, discipline, and faith in the process. That is the power of silence. It transforms ordinary effort into something extraordinary, not by noise, but by the strength it creates within you. Number 3, energy leaks through words. Energy leaks through words. Every time you speak about what you are going to do instead of actually doing it, a part of your energy escapes. Words carry power, but when they are used carelessly, when they are spoken without corresponding action, they drain the very force that should have been driving you forward. The moment you share your plans, your mind experiences a false sense of accomplishment. You feel a rush of excitement, a small reward, as if the goal has already been achieved, and that illusion steals the hunger you need to keep pushing. That's how energy leaks, not through exhaustion or effort, but through unnecessary words that give away your drive before it manifests into results. Your energy is sacred. It is the fuel that powers your dreams, the fire that keeps you moving when nothing seems to be working. But every time you tell someone about your goals, you invite their opinions, doubts, and projections into your space. Even if they mean well, their energy begins to mix with yours. Suddenly, your once clear focus becomes clouded with other people's voices, their fears, their limitations, their disbelief. The power that was once concentrated and pure now starts to scatter. This is why some people feel drained, not from hard work, but from over-talking. They give their passion away in words rather than channeling it into progress. Silence, in contrast, keeps your energy contained like a flame protected from the wind. When you protect your energy, you protect your progress. You move quietly, work diligently, and let your results make the noise. Energy thrives in action, not in conversation. The more you talk, the less you do. The more you do, the less you need to talk. It's a powerful cycle that separates the dreamers from the doers. Action recycles energy. Words release it. The greatest achievers understand this balance deeply. They don't announce their next step, they take it. They don't discuss their plans endlessly, they execute them silently. Their focus becomes a magnet for progress, and their energy remains intact, concentrated, powerful, and unstoppable. When you learn to hold your energy, you learn control. You stop wasting power on validation and start investing it in transformation. You begin to see that silence isn't emptiness, it's preservation. Your words no longer serve as an outlet. They become a reflection of what's already done. That's when your voice gains true strength, not from constant talking, but from the undeniable presence of results that speak louder than anything you could ever say. Number 4, progress builds confidence. Progress builds confidence. Confidence is not something you are born with. It's something you build through action, persistence, and visible growth. Every small step forward becomes a quiet reminder that you are capable, that you can depend on yourself, and that you are not the same person you once were. Progress, no matter how slow, teaches you to trust your own effort. It whispers to your heart that movement, however little, is better than standing still. Confidence doesn't come from imagining success, it comes from earning it. And progress is that daily evidence that you are moving, learning, and becoming. Each time you take a step, even a hesitant one, you challenge the voice inside you that says you can't. You prove to yourself that fear can be felt and faced, that uncertainty can be navigated, and that failure can be survived. Every action you take builds a new layer of self-belief. Progress makes you realize that you don't need to be perfect, you just need to keep going. It shows you that courage isn't loud. Sometimes it's simply choosing to try again. Over time, as those small moments of effort accumulate, you start to feel a quiet assurance rising within you. You stop seeking permission to act because your progress has already given you proof that you can handle what comes next. Progress strengthens your identity. It changes the way you see yourself, not as someone waiting for change, but as someone creating it. The small victories you earn in silence reshape your confidence more than any external praise ever could. You begin to understand that your worth isn't tied to applause, but to consistency. Each result, no matter how small, becomes a piece of evidence that you are capable of growth. Progress turns doubt into determination because it reminds you that effort is never wasted. Every attempt carries you further than the last. And with every little improvement, your confidence becomes less dependent on circumstances and more rooted in experience. Progress also gives you resilience. When you see how far you've come, you no longer fear setbacks the same way. You recognize that every challenge is temporary and that your effort has already proven its strength. That's how true confidence is born. Not from pretending to be strong, but from knowing that you've built that strength through time, persistence, and faith in your own ability to rise again. Number 5, results are undeniable. Results are undeniable. You can talk about dreams, explain your goals, and promise the world what you're going to do. But in the end, only results speak the language everyone understands. Results don't need defending, they don't need convincing, and they don't need explanation. They are proof in motion. When results appear, every doubt fades, every critic quiets, and every excuse loses its power. You don't have to prove yourself when your work already does it for you. That's the beauty of results. They stand tall, firm, and visible, long after words have lost their weight. Results come from effort that no one sees. The late nights, the quiet mornings, the silent repetitions when no one is watching. They're built in the moments when you feel like quitting, but choose to keep going. Each bit of consistency adds up until one day it becomes visible to the world. People may have ignored your struggle, doubted your ability, or underestimated your strength, but they can never deny what your effort produced. That's the moment where silence becomes power, when your work speaks louder than anything you could have said. Results are not loud, but they echo far. They don't need attention, they attract it naturally. Results also bring clarity. They show you what works, what doesn't, and where your real strength lies. You stop guessing and start knowing. Results turn your belief into evidence, proof that your discipline, faith, and persistence were not in vain. They validate the sacrifices you made and give meaning to the struggle you endured. And when you see the outcome of your hard work, it's not just the achievement that matters, it's the transformation within you. You start to respect yourself differently because you now have evidence of your growth. Results reshape your confidence, your mindset, and your direction. There's a quiet dignity in results that no amount of talking can replace. You don't have to shout about who you are or what you're capable of. Your work does it for you. Results silence the noise of doubt. They command respect without demanding it. And when they appear, they remind you of one profound truth, that while opinions are temporary and words are fleeting, proof is permanent. The world might debate your intentions, but it can never debate your results. Number 6, your journey is sacred. Your journey is sacred. It is uniquely yours, shaped by your choices, your struggles, your lessons, and your growth. No one else can walk it, no one else can fully understand it, and no one else can define its pace or purpose. Your journey is not a race to be compared. It's a path to be honored. Every step, whether it feels like progress or setback, holds meaning. The moments of silence, confusion, and waiting are just as important as the moments of victory. When you begin to see your journey as sacred, you stop rushing, you stop competing, and you start respecting the divine rhythm of your growth. Life isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be present, to learn, to evolve, and to trust the process unfolding before you. There will be times when your path feels lonely, misunderstood, or even invisible. Others may question your choices or fail to see the purpose behind your persistence. But your journey is not for them to understand, it's for you to experience. The lessons meant for you are hidden in the very challenges that others might overlook. Every obstacle, every delay, every disappointment is a sacred teacher in disguise, molding your spirit into something stronger and wiser. When you accept this, you stop seeing struggles as punishments and start seeing them as preparation. Your journey becomes less about reaching a destination and more about becoming the kind of person who can walk through life with peace, resilience, and grace. Your journey is sacred because it is personal. It reflects the quiet relationship between you and your purpose, the invisible hand that guides you, the intuition that whispers when to move and when to wait. There's a spiritual beauty in the way life unfolds, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. Sometimes the delays protect you. Sometimes the rejections redirect you. Sometimes the waiting seasons strengthen what impatience could destroy. And one day, when you look back, you realize that every turn, every detour, every heartbreak had meaning. When you treat your journey as sacred, you stop craving validation. You learn to protect your peace, to move with humility, and to keep your heart open even in the face of uncertainty. You no longer measure success by speed, but by depth, by how deeply you've grown, how much you've learned, and how gracefully you've continued even when no one was watching. Number 7, let your success make the noise. Let your success make the noise. In a world obsessed with attention, it takes real strength to stay quiet while you build. Most people want to be seen before they have achieved anything. They want to be celebrated for the idea rather than the outcome. But true power lies in the opposite, in letting your actions speak for you. When you allow your work to be the voice, you create an impact that lasts longer than words ever could. Success that grows in silence carries a different kind of weight. It's not built on applause or validation. It's built on persistence, sacrifice, and unseen effort. And when that success finally appears, it doesn't need an introduction. It announces itself naturally through results that can't be denied. Letting your success make the noise also protects your focus. When you stop wasting time explaining your vision, you redirect that energy into creating it. You stop trying to convince others of your potential and instead spend that energy becoming proof of it. Every hour spent talking about what you'll do is an hour taken away from actually doing it. But the moment you shift your attention inward, the results begin to multiply. The quiet achiever doesn't need attention to feel motivated. Their satisfaction comes from progress, from seeing the small pieces come together day by day. And when that progress turns into achievement, people take notice on their own. Success speaks with a volume that silence only strengthens. There's something powerful about surprising the world. The same people who doubted you, ignored you, or underestimated you will one day be forced to acknowledge what your quiet determination created. You don't have to argue with them, justify your decisions, or prove your worth. Your success will do it for you. That's the beauty of letting results speak. They are irrefutable. They silence every critic and validate every sacrifice. And when you reach that point, you realize that you never needed to shout. You only needed to stay consistent. The most respected people are not the ones who talk about what they will do, but those whose lives become evidence of what they've done. Their achievements echo louder than words because they are built on discipline, not display. When you let your success make the noise, you build quietly, rise steadily, and inspire deeply, not through speeches or promises, but through the undeniable power of what you've accomplished. So as you walk out of here today, remember this: the world doesn't need to hear what you're planning. It needs to see what you're becoming. Let your silence be your preparation, your progress be your motivation, and your results be your testimony. Stay focused, stay grounded. Protect your vision from noise and distraction. Because when you choose quiet consistency over empty conversation, success becomes inevitable. One day, your journey will speak so loudly that you won't need to say a word. Your life itself will be the message that inspires everyone watching.